Hello, today I'm going to talk about India wakes up to have a sustainable logistics but with certain roadblocks. So let me give a quick intro about myself. I'm Abhilash Kalluri. So I've been working with a couple of logistics companies for a few years. So I was one of the part of coastal logistics in India, where we have given a sustainable logistics solutions to the automobile sector of India. So to give a quick show about what I've done in my past, this is what it is. So this is a coastal ship where this is a ro-ro vessel where you have a roll-on roll-off cars which rolls into this vessel. So we have given a sustainable solution for companies like Hyundai, Maruti and Ford and all. So let's get into the topic right now. So when I talk about sustainable logistics, let me give a quick background on what exactly sustainable logistics is all about and why it is needed. I'm going to share my experiences that I've gone through when I was working with this automotive sector that I've been through, and then I'll share a couple of for example problems that I've come across and what solutions that we can look forward so that we can bring a sustainable logistics for any kind of segment that we look at in the future. So let me tell a quick background about what exactly the Indian logistics is about. So if you look at the Indian coastal line, we have about 7,000 kilometers of peninsula, and we have and it also consists of 12 major ports and other couple of 200 notified and other mini ports that we have. So having such a great network, and if you look at this, one of the reports stated from Malaysian Supply Chain Institute states that waterways is one of the best way to transport any goods that we have to. But currently in India, we are only moving about 6% of the domestic cargo from our own ports in between. The remaining 94% is moving through road or railways or whatever it is. So we are not fully utilizing the resources that we have at the current situation. So when it comes to the operating cost that comes with coastal shipment, it is very less compared to any other transportation, for example, railways or even roadways. And also the problems that we face, like there's a lot of pollution that is happening, and also there's full-on road congestions and other things that comes up with these. So we have so many problems which comes with other parts of transportation, but coastal shipment is one of the best way which can give a sustainable solution for most of the sectors right now. So now let's get into what I have done in my past for a couple of companies. So I have taken automotive cluster as this thing. When you look at India automotive sector is completely divided into 3 clusters. North we have Maruti, Honda and other couple of other OEMs, and in the west we have again Maruti Sanand and Ford Sanand and as well Tata Sanand, and in the south we have Hyundai as well Ford and also Renault Nissan. So we have given a sustainable solution for these 3 couple of 4-5 companies that we have worked for, where we tried moving all their cars through coastal shipment rather than moving through road. So currently if you look at the Indian automotive sector, most of the cars are moving through road only. Typically they have an 18-meter car carrier which is specially designed for them. They try to carry from the south and then they get it to the northern location and try to pick the other cars. So the operation cost and the congestion that is happening and the pollution levels are being very high in this sort of movement. So what we have suggested them was, we tried to give a solution where they can move the cars through the coastal movement from the Chennai, somewhere to the western part, maybe a Kandla or something. And we also tried to pick up the Kerala cargo where we can drop at Cochin port. And we tried delivering the Kerala cargo as well the Karnataka cargo to some extent, where you have Mangalore and other places. And then we moved to west, especially for the Kandla port. And from there we were trying to distribute to Maharashtra and as well the northern part of India. And from there we tried to pick up Maruti. But there were a couple of issues while doing this, which I'm going to tell you in detail in the further slides that I'm going to show you. So this is what the automotive, and if you look at the potential that we have in this particular cluster I'm talking about, so if you look at SIM report of 2017, about 4.6 million cars that are being manufactured by them, 3.7 million are being sold only for the domestic. That's the potential that they have in the domestic market. So it's a huge potential that is moving through road, and this is what we try to shift this into the coastals, which can help for the coming future. So coming to the Indian coastal shipping industry, if you look at the present situation, Indian government has come up with a very good concept called Sagarmala initiative, where they try to improve the coastal economic zones, and also they want to build the infrastructure to develop in further, like, you know, they want to bring the foreign flagged vessels which can fly in between, sail in between the ports of India itself. That's what the cabotage rules that they have come up with. And also the people who are trying to do coastal shipment in India, they're trying to reduce the shipping charges as well as the stevedoring charges and other couple of things. That's a great initiative from the government. I hope the investments come in a good way. In the coming years, it can be a big boost for the Indian, and the 6% that I told about can increase to a maximum of 20 or 30%, and to an extent where we can improve to a better ways. And the previous experience that I've told about, the issues that we have come across were built between three entities especially. One, it can be from the OEM's perspective, and it can be the third-party logistics service provider, and also the dealers and customers. So when you talk about OEMs, the main thing OEMs were facing was, you know, these guys have a sustainable, you know, a big distribution network currently moving with most of the transporters all over India, and they try to distribute all their cars with them for over decades, and also these individual transporters have invested a lot of capital in that, and that was the biggest faith that they have over the long period of time. Shifting from road to some other thing, it's going to be a big challenge for these companies, which they don't want to get into immediately, which can disrupt their distribution network. So that was the biggest challenge that they were having. As well, again, OEMs also have this competition, this thing, where this personally I experienced one of the thing where Maruti is moving their cars through their own rakes from Noida to down south to Bangalore to their south hub, where they place an inventory of their cars. So these rakes come down to the south, and while returning back, they go empty. They don't want to. And Hyundai tried to request them so that they can send their northern volume through using these rakes. But Maruti was hesitant to give because it's all about competition. So they have their personal their own benefits that they face. So they don't want their competitor to get benefited out of it. They don't want to share the contract with them. That was one of the challenges that OEMs were having. And when it comes to the third-party logistics, especially, though government has given a lot of initiatives with Sagarmala project where they tried to improve the cabotage rules that we have, and as well, you know, there was a lot of shipping charges that have been given, reduced, and as well, the incentives are being provided if people are using the coastal mode. That's a great move. But even then, there are a couple of other policies which, like 50% of the Indian foreign vessels that we have, there should be Indian employees should be there in the vessel. Now, when the third-party logistics doesn't get a required volume to move its voyage, there's going to be roughly $10,000 a day, which is roughly 7 million a day that we are going to spend if the vessel is going to stay idle. That's a big issue for any third-party logistics. And these are a couple of challenges, and there are other challenges as well. And when you look at the dealers are someone, you know, they want their car to be, you know, non-damageable. So when you're touching the car for a very frequent time, like there's a first mile from plant pickup to port, and again from port to another port, there's a lot of human handling in this operation. So the probability of damages that can happen to this new car increases as the human touch is going to increase for every step of the logistics. So they don't want this to happen. That was one of the things. And they want every car to be, in the minimum possible time. Possibly some of the locations, the coastal shipment might take a little overtime, maybe a 2 days or a 3 days, which a customer wouldn't be happy for doing such kind of movement. So having these troubles, which we have faced in the past, and going way forward, what can be the best possible way for this particular automotive cluster to have the sustainable logistics is, these are the couple of suggestions which I believe which can help this sector especially. Collaboration between the stakeholders that we have. So here, you have Maruti and Honda as the biggest domestic car volumes that they're producing. When you look at Maruti, it has about 60% of market share, and as well Honda has about 20-30% of market share. So if they have a cost sharing contract where the people, third party logistics can carry minimum volume from Hyundai and try to deliver the northern cargo to some western region, from there distribute it, and as well try to carry the northern cargo from Maruti, and the cost sharing should be there with this, using the same vessel, which can help the third party logistics provider so that he can run the vessel in a sustainable way. That's one of the thing. And as well, the stable demand, the demand that it comes from these companies are very high compared to other companies like Renault, Nissan and Ford and other companies, where the uncertainty is very high in that particular companies. But the companies which have a very low uncertainty in the demand, and as well, they have a very stable demand, they can try to use this, and also use couple of distribution centers at ports as well, where they can store their inventory. So this can help them, to send their cars as and when required. If there is a very high demand uncertainty, then they can go through the road movement or something like that, because the vessel requires a minimum volume of something which can completely carry the entire this thing. So that's one of the solution that can be happening. Like suitable contracts I told, cost sharing contracts also could help. So these are the solutions that I can give in this particular shipment. This can also be used for any other clusters that we have, maybe a cement sector or any other sector that we have. Thank you.